What's up guys, I'm going to show you how to pop in one of these stenner pumps. I currently have one of these unidose pumps. I am out of duckbills. They do not make these anymore, so I'm going to have to switch over my pump. I'm going to be leaving in the injection line because the injection line I have is still fine. So I'm just going to be using one of these connections right here. Basically allows me to go from the smaller line to the larger line. The smaller line that I have is going to match up to the stenner pump. These are the tubes. You can get a bunch of these online. I ordered a couple of them just while they're cheap. I learned the hard way, not purchasing enough of these duckbills. They have them like on the secondary. This was like a few years ago. It's like 20 bucks for one of these. And now they just don't even sell them anymore, period. So it's time for a new pump. I'm gonna pop on this new pump and we're gonna hook it up. First things first is simply unplugging this pump here and taking it apart. You can just unscrew this. I'm going to be cutting this. I'll save the part. I'm going to unscrew it and then I'm going to cut it because there is I'll show it to you so you can see. It's on all of them. The current one that or the stenner at least that I'm putting on, it's not called a duckbill, but they're basically just like little couplings. This one used washers. I got to get this chlorine off. There's a bunch of chemical in it. They're chemical pumps, but it basically just uses washers and it allows it to have this seal, I guess you can say. It basically just goes around there and it water seals it or keeps it from leaking, basically what you can say. This one, it has ferrules. They're like these little things. They slide on the tube and then the nut goes right over it and it tightens onto this. And then inside there we have the little suction thing. The newer stenner pumps, they have this type of suction thing. It's actually really easy to put this on. You see this little hole right there? You just jam the tube right through it. You want to go about 3 inches in. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of the parts we just talked about and then we'll continue the video. I have removed the pump. I basically just removed these 2 parts. So this pump is completely isolated now. It's already unplugged and everything. This is the tube that goes inside there. You can either keep this one or switch out to the new one. I already have a bunch of this tube from an old pump that I had. So I'm actually just gonna use this tube and pop it in there. Again, you just need about 3 inches to go into the stenner weight. This is basically your suction weight. And this is going to go inside the water. To measure how much tube you need, you want to get like 2 inches off the ground with this black tube. It's going to be the weight. So you just have to cut it to size. This is a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and measure it out and cut it to size. So you can see you literally just push it in and the little edges on the end, they bite into the tube so they keep it secure. So like I can't just pull this out. To get it out, you're going to have to cut it. So now we got the tube in. Next, you want to go ahead and get the ferrule on this piece. You slide the skinny part down first, and then the thicker part is at the top. Obviously, you want to put the cap in first. You want to put the threaded side pointing that way, because that's how we're going to thread into this machine right here. And then the ferrule, the thick side on the top. So now we cut the other side of our tube. We just use this connector. It's literally a push to connect. You push on the thicker side and then the skinnier side just is taking in, can't see it, is taking in that piece right there. And then we're just gonna hook this right on. So next we're gonna go ahead and check for leaks. I already screwed this piece in. This machine, it slides back and forth. So like you see this little platform right here? This actually slides off the machine itself. It's just kind of like a little sleeve that goes straight on it. You can kind of see the notches right there, where the bottom end of that slides right into it. But you want to screw that platform to the tank that you have. I positioned it so this will not kink and this stays straight. We're going to go ahead and check for leaks on this. Looks like we're good right now. This is just residual water when I was messing around with the thing. But your goal is to make sure, 1, this is not leaking, and 2, that it's primed and pushing through and injecting into the line. We're already hooked up, so this video is not going to show you where to position this and put this properly, but you do want to put this at a T to where it goes into the line before it actually hits the mixing tank. This is just kind of like your holding tank with the water and it does its thing. This is the chlorine or the chemical that it's pushing into there. So I'm gonna flip on some water. The flow switch is right here. This basically just senses when water is going into the house. Right now, water obviously is going into the house, so it's gonna kick this on. You see our machine is doing work, it's doing its thing. You can adjust this, the amount of chemical that you want in there. Obviously, the higher the number, the more chemical that you're gonna get in there. Some things you do wanna watch is going to be this tube right here, making sure that this doesn't leak. It will leak, it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You have these weep holes right here. It doesn't matter in here for me, I don't care. But for you, if you are inside your house and you don't want it ruining your floor, whatever, that weep hole right there, you can shove a tube and you can backfill it into there. That way when it leaks, it will pee into there. If you're just in a chemical room like I am, it just leaks on the floor and I could care less. So we're gonna test to see if this is actually, you can see it's getting a ton of pressure. You can see it's like, as soon as I open it up, it just started gushing. Like it is doing its thing. Literally, you can see it right now. Yep, it smells like straight chemical and I got bleach all over my pants, boys. These pants are going to be white. Actually, they're going to be spotty white. But that's how you put in the chemical pump. You can see we're not leaking here. We're good. I'm going to wash off my hands while I can. Man, this stuff always burns me. And that's how you put it in. So that you can hear me. Again, the things that you're going to watch. If you're in a room of importance, this part is really important for you. These weep holes, sometimes they'll have a little punch out on them. Punch it out. You're gonna take this tube and jam it and shove it in there, and you're gonna backflow it into the machine, or not the machine, the barrel, or wherever you want it to backflow to. That way, when this fails, these tubes will fail. They get leaks, cracks, all kinds of stuff. I'll do a video on how to replace those. You will want that leaking into the barrel or wherever you want it and not on your floor. Second, this machine can be adjusted. If you're getting too much chemical in the water, you can reduce it. If it's too much, you can increase, or if it's not enough, you can increase it. Next, make sure the plug isn't in an area that it will get wet. This is fine over here. I'm cool with it. If it just burns, I'm just kidding. It's okay over here. Next is down here, you want to make sure your the screen is not touching the bottom of it. It's okay if it's touching the bottom, but over time, sediment fills up there and you'd rather not do it. Just pick it up 2-3 inches from the floor, do your thing. It's better. It's better longevity wise. So I take that back. You can't put it on the floor because it's just eventually going to turn out bad. Also, when you're putting in the supply or suction line or changing it out, preferably do it when the tank is empty. Because this is a chemical tank, you're shoving your hand in there and it gets chemical all over you. It's not fun. Other things, these things, they wear out a lot. These are the clips that hold the machine together. You get a couple of them in the kit, so when they wear out, they literally just flip back on and do their thing. You can get those tubes on Amazon and whatnot. And lastly, you want to make sure that this thing is primed. Sometimes it won't be primed, sometimes it won't do its thing. Make sure it's primed. You do that just by unscrewing it while it's on and water pressure is running through and it's clicking on, doing its thing. And you get water pressure coming through, like we showed you, and it just gushes out. That's a good sign. It means this is done properly and this is done properly. If you're getting backflow, then you're going to need to check the injection line. You might need to change that out or change out the springs. I have a ball and spring in mine. Mine lasts a bit longer, but if it goes out, I'll just put in a new ball and spring. Also, one other thing, if you're on or the water's flowing, but this thing will not turn on, make sure the switch is on. If the switch is on, still not doing its thing, check the float. A lot of times that thing gets clogged up. Just tap it a couple of times. Sometimes sediment gets stuck in there. If you still have an issue with that, then you're going to need to replace the float. Oftentimes these things just get dirty and clogged up with like debris and all kinds of garbage and sediment. Thanks for watching, guys. That's how you put in a stenner pump or replacer chlorinator pump. I almost forgot to tell you, on the stenner pump, do not use Teflon tape and always hand tighten this stuff. I'm showing you the Unidos because, well, that's the only pump I have. I left the pump in the chemical room. But make sure you hand tighten these things. Don't over tighten them. Those little nuts that I showed you putting on that tube, basically onto these things right here. Do not over tighten them. You'll crack them, break them, and then you'll have to end up buying new ones. And then obviously make sure you put on the little grommet thing, this right here. Small side down first onto the tube, big side on the edge that goes straight into this. Big side shoots into this. And don't use Teflon tape. It literally says it right there on this tube. Do not do it. Want to troubleshoot your pump if the float switch isn't working, or the flow switch, or if the outlet's messed up or whatever, all you do is you simply put it to a new outlet. If it kicks, that means your pump is okay, the motor's doing its thing, it's all good. If you aren't kicking on a fresh new outlet that's working after you tested, like phone charger or whatever, then your pump is bad. But most of the time, like 10 times out of 10, it's not your pump, and it's usually just that float switch that I showed you in there that usually gets clogged up.